Well, here we are. It is my first time taping at Evotion Studios. We are in Tampa Bay, specifically Clearwater, with our new friends that own Evotion Studios. And it's super exciting to be here. It's not only my first time here, but it's also Fran Capo's first time here. And as you may know, when the show first started in, I guess it was April of 2009, Fran and I were co-hosting the show together. So it's kind of nice when we do our first together. And we're going to be talking about a lot of her first, because it was the first time that you were where? In some cave in the middle of Vietnam.
Yes. I mean, because I found, you know, Donna, how I am, because over the years, every time I hear about something, I go, I got to figure out a way to do this. And there is the world's largest cave, the Son Doong Cave in Vietnam. But to get there, you have to trek 12 miles into the Vietnam jungle. Okay, but that's not it. Once you, to get to trek into the jungle, they have to prove that you have the capabilities to do it. So you had to be able to do 30 push-ups. You had to be able to do a 2-minute plank. You had to be able to climb 6 flights of stairs without getting winded. So now the day comes and we pass all these, hurdles we have to do. And I'm with my friend Barbara and we get there. And as soon as you're about to go into the cave, there's a huge sign that says animals that may be there along the way. No, okay. We first trek to the way. So they show tigers, there's bears, they show cobra snakes. I'm like, wow, okay. And leeches, which is, always a cool thing. You get a little leech, a little worm hanging off you. So you're trekking, you're going through water waist high. And the entrance of the cave, it's so big, a 747 can fit inside of it. That's how big the entrance is. And you get to the cave, and it is gorgeous. But the cool thing about the cave is the cave itself is 7 miles. And so what happened was the cave is 7 miles and 2 ceilings of the cave collapsed. And where the 2 ceilings of the cave collapsed, sunlight came in. So it created a jungle in the middle of a cave.
Beautiful photos that you've taken there. I mean, just magical. It's just like nothing else like it, right?
Literally, it was like going to Avatar.
Okay.
And except I didn't see the banshees flying around. There were a couple of little bats. There were the little birds. There were, and then everything inside, people don't realize the animals that are inside, fish, no eyes, because they don't need eyes. It's total darkness. So they're blind fish, but they literally don't have eyes.
Interesting.
And they're all albino. And
really? So albino, no-eyed fish.
Yes. Okay. Maybe not the most attractive thing, but apparently they must be attracted to the other albinos because then obviously they mate and they're in the cave and they're in the dark. Maybe they don't care how they look.
Right.
But so you trek, and now it comes to a point where you have to get out. First, you have to climb out a 168-step rickety ladder that is literally leaning on something. And then when you get there, straight up, picture a 30-story building, and you have to take the ropes and climb the knots. Now, I have little hands and little arms, so the knots are very far, and I'm like, I can't reach it.
It takes you longer because, you're 5'2", so right.
And
if somebody's 6'3", they only have to go
Not only that, they can reach the next thing with ease. Me, I'm over there going rope, knot, and I'm trying to get up there. And then I did it. And at the end, they said, then at the end you get the bus. And I'm like, where's the bus?
Right.
And they go, oh no, we have to walk another 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I want the bus right out here, but we had to walk.
How many blisters or did you?
My legs were total. This was and I've gone down to the Titanic. I've climbed Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, you've swum with sharks.
Swam with sharks, with dolphins. I've, did the Tough Mudder race. This literally was the hardest thing I ever did because, first of all the rocks and everything were very slippery. So even though you try to have steady footing, and they're at angles, like at a 70-degree angle, and they had said to you, if you don't make it to the 3rd largest cave, which is the first day, so that's like your testing ground, and if you fall, we turn you back and you can't go to the largest cave. Well, I'm over there trekking, trying to be really careful, and what happens, somebody goes, Fran, and I turn and I fall. Now, all of a sudden, the guys are running over to me. I'm like, no, I'm okay. They are watching me like I am a maimed animal that they need to shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, really. So one of the guides started holding my hand so much. I go, listen, Tang, no offense, but you've held my hand more in 2 days than I've held my husband's in 3 years. I think we're engaged. And then you swim through 40-degree water at one point with all your clothes on to get to another point. 40-degree water. It's like the polar bear plunge. But Donna, it was just so gorgeous to be in a place that so few people on earth have been to. And that's what I love doing.
Well, and I know because we're friends, I know that you did a book signing at the top of Kilimanjaro. I know
Yes.
that you did the prayer service down at the side of the Titanic.
Yes.
And what did you do inside this cave, Fran?
Okay. You know, it doesn't take much motivation for me to figure out something. I didn't want to drag books into the cave because you have to
Right.
carry everything in there. So someone had said to me right before I entered the cave, "What world record are you breaking?" And I went, "None, just doing it for fun." And all they wrote back was, "Oh." And I went, "Oh,
And your heart sunk.
oh.
Right.
Now I have to break a world record." And I'm thinking, what can I do? So I said, maybe I could do the world's most remote comedy show. So I asked the guys, I said, when we get to the end of the trip at the cave, can I do it? He goes, yeah. I said, we have to set it up because, Guinness and they have very strategic, very strict records. So I had to get I had to find a piece of paper, like the old, papyrus, dry, like, oh, what could I find to write on? I didn't bring paper, with Flintstones. And so everybody had a sign that they saw me. I
Right.
had an MC. I had people hold flashlights up against me, so I had stage
Your footlights, right.
Yeah, you got to act like it's a real stage. I had the backdrop of a cave, so they wouldn't think I was, just doing this in my living room or pretending I was in a cave. And so I did that, and then I submitted it, and now I have the record as doing the comedy show in the world's most remote location.
Lovely. How many world records do you hold?
I
have
hold
you
11 world records right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. The
Okay.
fast talking is 2 of my records. The Guinness Book of World Records fastest talking woman, as of course 603.32 words a minute, 11 words a second was I clocked that, which is great because my husband goes, was I in a fight? I go, listen, Nana, were you in it? It's over. You lost.
I love when you do the 3 little pigs too. The little pig went,
Yeah.
so people can go in YouTube and they could find all of this
They could
greatness
find
of
all-
Fran's world, like
And
your
if
whole
they, or
world.
they just go to francapo.com,
Right.
they could see it there. But if you Google Fran Capo, literally 60 pages come up of all the different world records I've done. I did a TED Talk because of you, got me there. I did a TEDx talk, and then I broke a world record, as you know, on the TEDx stage. I did an 18-minute talk, and then I redid the entire talk in under a minute.
I think that was maybe the first time in our longevity of our friendship and everything that I did anything first. Like I did my TEDx talk first,
Yes, you
right?
did,
But
yeah.
I did not climb Kilimanjaro. I did not. And sometimes I am not even second at any of your world records. I don't think, I don't
But I
attempt
always
it.
ask.
Yes.
I always ask.
Do you want to
And
go?
we're not going to reveal to the audience now because it'll come out later.
Right.
But you and I are going on a very cool adventure.
Yes, we are.
And
I'm excited
that will
about
be
that.
with Donna Drake's show.
Yep.
And then the audience will get to see all the cool things we
I
do
know,
there.
so happy.
Yeah.
And speaking of cool things, there's a lot to do here in this area.
Absolutely. So
Because
and
now
we'll-
we're on WTOG CBS, which is
Yay!
why we're filming this.
Congratulations.
So we love all of the cities coast to coast that we're in, and so my intention is each month I'm going to go to a different city where the show airs because I want to have boots on the ground.
Yes.
Right? And so we're going to go to Boston, we're going to go to Sacramento and Seattle, and I'm not forgetting anybody else. We will be there. Dallas,
knows them all.
of them, right?
Yeah.
So, but today we're here because we are now in Tampa.
Yes. Now, I moved here to Florida 3 years ago. I live in Weeki Wachee. But here in Tampa, one of the things that people think of Florida, see, the problem is most people always think Disney, Busch Gardens. There is so much more to do in Florida than people realize. Just like if in New York City, people think the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, there's so much more to do. So here,
Right?
one of the
What can we
first
do
things,
here? Exactly.
one of the first things that you could do here is if someone wants to see manatees right from Tampa Airport, you could go to Tampa Electric Company, right? And I am telling you, I brought my other friend that you know, Donna Moran. I brought her there. Hundreds of manatees with their babies because the water is heated because of the electric company.
Okay.
And that's why they don't migrate because the manatees come here usually between November and early March. And then
Okay,
they leave
so
for
that
what?
sounds
They
like fun.
literally would die if they stay, if the water gets too cold.
Right.
So where the electric company is, the water is heated. Everywhere you look, and it's a viewing station. So they have platforms and you can look around and see them everywhere. So that is a really cool thing. As soon as you pick up someone from the airport,
Right.
you go, hey, let me take you to the electric company. Don't worry, you're
every
not
time-
paying a bill.
I was going to say, but every time you say that, it reminds me of being a kid, like with Tiger Beat magazine, the Electric Company
Oh, yes,
TV show,
yes,
right?
yes.
Hey, you guys, like all those shows that from when we were kids, it's just like Dynamite, like, and
it
Sesame
brings
Street and
that
everything.
feeling
It
back,
brings
but-
that feeling back of like Electric Company. I was like, yeah, let's go.
And you wouldn't
But-
think that.
But you, could
when
go see
did-
manatees.
So that's
okay,
one.
so that's one. What
Okay,
else? Give
so
me
another
two
thing
more.
is Clearwater has
Okay.
a gorgeous aquarium. Okay.
Is that your phone? Hello,
No, my
we're
phone
taking
is
calls.
off.
I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody's phone. Hello?
Oh, yeah.
One ringy dingy.
Okay, well,
two ringy dingies. Let's just keep rolling.
No, they're
Okay,
going to keep
somebody's
ringing,
phone.
ringing.
No, it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Well, I had it on
Somebody left.
airplane
You know
mode.
what? Somebody probably is like trying to find their phone. They left their phone in here.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
I don't think that's my phone.
I don't know.
My
So
phone's
okay, so
okay.
not just the electric
Okay.
company, but the phone company.
But
the
yes,
phone
the
company's
phone
calling
company,
it. They're
right?
jealous. They're
Because
like,
they're
wait,
going. Why
how
didn't
come
you
you're talking
mention
about
the phone
company,
company?
but not the phone company?
Yeah. But
Okay.
a Clearwater aquarium. Okay,
Right.
You could have interactions like you could pet manatees.
Okay.
You could. There's sharks. You could see the They have dolphin encounters where you could, see the dolphins, and they teach you behind the scenes of what you could do with the dolphins. Another place, not necessarily in Tampa, but another place in Florida that a lot of people don't know about that is really, really cool is in a place called Ona, O-N-A, Florida.
Okay.
And there's a place called Solomon's Castle.
Oh, I've been there.
You know Solomon's Castle. That's right. You stayed over it.
Love Solomon's
The
Castle.
cool thing about that people might not know is that the castle, the guy didn't have money to build, and he was like, "Oh, I'd like to build a castle." And so what he did was he built a 3-story castle out of discarded aluminum newspaper plates because they would only make the headlines of the plates once, and he used them and he built 3 stories. And of course, he goes, "Well, I got a castle. Now I got to build a moat." So he builds a moat, and it's like, "Well, I can't have a moat without a boat." So he builds a boat. So you could go to the moat and then have the boat and the boat
Right.
and then the castle.
Right.
And it's just like a really cool experience today. Another really
It's one
cool
of my
place.
favorite places. And by the way, he started out as a woodworker, right? He's a
Yes.
famous artist, and I actually have one of a little Christmas train that he had made.
Oh,
and it's one of
really?
my favorite things because then when he passed away, they decided maybe not to sell some of his artwork anymore because they wanted to keep
now you
it
have a really-
as part of the family. But Solomon's Castle, I highly recommend it. I give it like 18 stars.
Yes, it is.
18 stars on a scale
And
of 20.
even though it's out, you have to take
It's
a drink.
worth it.
It's a beautiful place. They've got
the
land.
food was good there on the boat.
Yes, and the other
restaurant
thing
was
is,
good?
if you even want, you could extend the tour, and then they have a section where they have the old planes and model Fords. So they have the cars and the airplanes, and another section. It's really cool.
Spectacular.
And one other place I'll tell people about, because most people always think of the Tampa Zoo, and they think of
Right.
there's big zoos, but there's a zoo called the Brevard Zoo.
Okay.
Brevard Zoo. It's in West Palm. But the cool thing about this is it's the only place in the world that you could kayak with zebras and giraffes, and
Not on your kayak, but you could
no,
still,
they wouldn't fit. The giraffe, his neck takes
Right.
up too much room. He
Right.
starts banging into you.
But
you
you're
know.
going through almost like
You are
a nature
going
preserve.
through, yeah, and
Okay.
the animals are right there on the shore. You see lemurs, and they're right there. And another cool thing in Tampa, well, it's actually at Clearwater, Tampa. It's kind of like there's a place called For Fitness, and if you're bored about just exercising and walking, although you could do the river walk in Tampa, which is gorgeous. Is a place that does bungee workouts. So you literally attach a bungee cord to you and you're running and the bungee is pulling you back as you're doing it and you're doing push-ups and stuff like that. You look at it, it doesn't look like it's a great workout,
Right.
but it's a really cool workout.
And we're old enough to kind of remember, even though we're both 37.
I'm 37 till I'm 97.
Suzanne Summers with those exercise
Yeah,
bands.
oh, gosh.
Okay, so I think ode to Suzanne Summers. Thank you, Fran, for always being my friend, but for being here. It sounds like fun. So for more adventures, they should
I'll
look
keep
us
telling
up.
you, exactly.
We'll just keep going on adventures. In the book, you have an Adrenaline Adventures book still.
Yes, I do.
Right?
And that's on my website, francapo.com. 50 different adventures you could do in a day or weekend.
Great. And they're
Yeah.
all like you rate them. From
Oh, yes. The most difficult,
right.
one is, anybody could do it,
Right.
and you could do it sleeping. And 5 is like, you got to work out.
And what would the adventure we first talked about, what was the name of that cave again?
Oh, no, that cave is beyond the 5.
I know.
That cave
gonna
is
say,
like a 20.
that is
You got
not in the
18
book.
for the other one.
Right.
That one's not in the book.
Right.
But I'm working on a new book,
Okay.
and then I'll come on and talk about it. It's not the stories not the story of my life. It's the stories in my life.
Beautiful.
So it's all different crazy stories of things that I've done.
Thank
So,
you. I love
thank
you, Fran
I
Capo.
love you too.
There you go. Well, there you had it. Fran Capo and I signing off from Evotion Studios in Clearwater. Be well.